that we were looking for, the 2007 Ford Edge, has been located in Williamson County, Tennessee. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office contacted agents with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force last night between 11 and midnight and told them that the car had been located there. They had gotten a call from a local tow company that I guess realized that they had the car in their impound lot. They received a call. That tow company, or actually Williamson County Sheriff's Office, received a call last Friday afternoon at 1:50 p.m. that there was an abandoned car on whatever road. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the road. They responded. The car was towed at 2:37 p.m. last Friday. So that means that that's about a 2-hour drive from here. So about 3 hours and 50 minutes after they left Lawrence, Alabama, they abandoned that vehicle. We're assuming where it was abandoned, and it was abandoned so quickly that they probably had mechanical problems with it. Because it was abandoned pretty much out in the middle of nowhere on the side of a county road where it would obviously draw attention and be found. So we know now where the car is. We know what direction they went. Right now we're trying to canvass the area for any witnesses. Also trying to research, see if any stolen vehicles were reported in that area during that time. So that's what we're following up on. I have copies of the tow-in report for you if you'd like to get a copy of that before you leave. We redacted the complainant's information. But we're sort of back to square one as far as the vehicle description right now. As I said, we're working on trying to see if there are any stolen vehicles in that area. I'm hoping that we'll get a break in that. But we're no longer looking for the Ford Edge. I also have with me our district attorney, Chris Conley, and he has an update for you on the reward information.
Thank you, Sheriff. After talking with the sheriff, I contacted the governor's office this morning and submitted a written request for her to give us the maximum reward possible under state law, which that's $5,000 per person. I submitted a written request, and within 1 hour of getting that request, she has provided me with the proclamation approving that maximum request for the award. And she states that the circumstances surrounding this event indicate that every effort should be made to apprehend and arrest Vicky White and Casey White. So we thank the governor's office for their prompt response and are certainly hopeful that this may encourage or incentivize someone to come forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Does that extend the total, or does it make it higher?
That makes the total reward for Casey White $15,000. The total reward for Vicky White $10,000. So a total of $25,000 in reward money now. Okay, with that, I'll take a few questions.
Sheriff, are you upset at all about the fact that it took maybe a couple days for this other department to tell you guys that the car was sitting there in an impound lot?
Well, I mean, not really. Obviously, we'd like to know it Friday. They found the car before we knew they were gone. So, you know, I mean, there's no fault or blame on anyone. You know, the tow driver towed it Friday afternoon. I'm sure that he probably sees some of the coverage that you guys have provided us. Saw the description of the car, and then probably a light went off, said, hey, you know, I think I remember towing that car, and went out in the lot and found it.
But I guess I'm concerned because isn't like you guys sent out a bulletin, so every agency should be getting a bulletin that you guys were looking for this car. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out, where was the ball dropped in terms of looking at the paperwork, where it was missing, and that they had one?
You know, I'm not sure I followed that question, but are you saying the deputy that responded to the call?
No, I'm just basically saying you guys put out a bulletin to the entire country that you're looking for this car.
Yes.
And so I guess what I'm saying is, at what point did they look at the bulletin and notice that they had the same car that you were looking for?
Well, the car was towed on Friday. That bulletin went out, if I'm not mistaken, Tuesday morning. So, you know, there again, that's about a 4-day delay, and I'm sure at some point in time, a light went off in this guy's head, and he thought, wait a minute, you know. I mean, they tow a lot of cars, you know.
Sheriff, was there anything found in the car? What sort of state was the car in? And has there been any credible sightings in that area of Tennessee?
No credible sightings I'm aware of. The car was, there was nothing in the car. The car was not inventoried by the record company, and the comment is that it didn't appear to be anything in it. It had been, there had been an attempt to spray paint it, and I have some photos if you want to see it. It's a botched up job, but they did attempt to try to paint it a little bit.
What makes you think the car actually broke down, as opposed to them just ditching it, getting it
Well,
in the car?
because of where it was found, a rural road, county road, where there's, there may not a lot of traffic, but somebody obviously would see it sitting on the side of the road and call it in, which is what happened. If I were going to abandon a car that I knew was hot, it would be in a crowded parking lot somewhere where it'd blend in and not stand out so much.
Have you been able to piece any more of the puzzle pieces together in terms of what Vicky was up to leading up to this? There are reports that she was at the Kohl's buying large men's clothing and also at an adult store in town.
I don't know what she was up to. I think at this point it's obviously, a jailhouse romance or something, but that's the only explanation I really have.
Is there anything on video that you've seen to support that it was a romance?
Not that I've seen. I saw a hand over here a while ago, I thought.
Sheriff, quick question.
Yeah, yes,
Now
sir.
you actually have the car in your possession, in law enforcement's possession. What can you glean from that vehicle, if anything, about how you're trying to track down these two?
I don't know, it really doesn't leave us a lot. We just know what direction they were headed. They headed north from here. Now, where they're, after Friday afternoon when they abandoned that car, which direction they had them there, we don't know. So on that particular issue, we're sort of back to square one. But
And one follow-up to that, I know Mr. Connolly had announced earlier that $90,000 roughly was taken out of a series of banks by Vicky White the week prior. What can you say about that?
yeah, that's my understanding, from a number of banks. And, we knew she had cash. We've been working on trying to find that, find out what she had or whatever. But yes, I mean, they had plenty of cash.
Do you think she had more than $90,000 in cash?
Not that we know of. Yes, sir.
Sure. Do you have any information about any connections as far as family members to either Casey or Vicky White in Middle Tennessee or in that northern direction on 65?
Not that we know of. That's something we'll be looking into for sure to see if we can find. I don't think so because, we've been sort of looking at that from day one as far as family
So
connections.
you're thinking
Yes.
they're on foot?
Well, they were when they lost their vehicle. Now, there again, did they steal another car? They hitch a ride with somebody or something? We don't know.
Sorry, you just answered my question. I was going to say, have you had any indication how they left that remote area?
Yeah.
There's no going from there.
No, sir, we don't know right now.
Okay, thank you.
Rick, how far off of 65 was the car left?
It looked like, I don't know, I haven't been to the scene. Looking at the map, it looked like maybe 2 or 3 miles east of 65, due east of Spring Hill, Tennessee. So, it's hard to tell for sure. But obviously, they were taking the back roads.
On our last report, we heard that they had potentially had AR-15, a shotgun, and some other weapons. Do you think that they might have taken those weapons with them or still armed?
I think anything they had in the car with them, they obviously took with them because there was nothing in the car. Those are weapons that Vicky White owned personally. We're assuming that they have those weapons with them. We don't know that for a fact, but we're on the side of safety, we're assuming they do have those weapons.
I guess we all assume that you guys are canvassing, or someone's canvassing that area right now. Any homes nearby to where the car was dropped off? Any structures that we should know?
It's a sparsely populated area, but deputy marshals and other agents have been there all morning canvassing, trying to see if there were any witnesses that saw anything that might give us some lead.
Sure. At this point, is there any information to believe that anyone else, law enforcement or other in the community, were involved with either the escape or assisting them once the escape was successful?
There's no indication I'm aware of that anyone else was involved other than Vicky White and Casey White.
Sheriff, have there been any other credible sightings? I know you were asked about that area in Tennessee. Has there been any other credible sighting of these two?
None credible. The last text we received on our Facebook or our message board was that they were seen on I-5 headed north in Oregon in that orange car. So
Sheriff.
And that was this afternoon, or this morning.
Sorry to cut you off. You've been in law enforcement for many years. What is your gut telling you about this whole situation?
My gut is telling me that they're obviously on the run, and that they're probably right now. I think the fact that they abandoned this car so quick and where they abandoned it, I think it threw them a curve. I don't think they planned for that, and I think they were grasping at straws. Now that's been a week ago today that this happened, almost to the hour. Matter of fact, 2 o'clock. That car was towed at 2:37. It was reported at 10 minutes till 2, which is 2:08 right now. So, basically 7 days ago to the minute, they had this problem. And so I think it threw them a curve, but they've obviously had plenty of time to recover from that. So they probably settled back down into some sort of routine.
To follow up on a question earlier about whether or not someone could have potentially helped them, how else would they have gotten out of this rural, sparse area? If the car breaks down and they leave it aside, what are the possible avenues of transportation out?
Obviously, they could have walked or someone could have picked them up. I mean, that's really about the only two options. We're hoping maybe they walked somewhere and then stole a vehicle. So, as we speak, they're working on researching to see if any vehicles were reported stolen in that area. They might have gotten a ride somewhere because, remember, at this time, there'd been no information put out. We wasn't even aware they were missing. So, if somebody saw them walking down the road, they might have just picked them up.
Sheriff, are you still concerned for Vicky White's safety?
I am. I'll be concerned for her safety until we know she's safe. This guy is, he's volatile. I mean, anything could set him off, and at any time he could just lose it and decide she's a hindrance to him and harm her. So,
Sheriff, some people we've spoken to have called Vicky smart and calculated. I mean, do you think that she's sort of one step ahead of law enforcement right now and has all of this planned out?
I think that her knowledge of corrections and her knowledge of the procedures that we use here in the sheriff's office on transport most definitely played to her advantage. I think this was a very well thought out plan, and so and her knowledge is sort of put us what's the word I'm looking for? We're sort of at a loss as to but she definitely, I mean, it's a very calculated plan.
Sheriff, during your investigation, have you done any search warrants at either the home that Vicky White used to own or her mother's home? And is that why you have these missing firearms? Is that how you kind of know that information?
I don't know. I would not be surprised if they hadn't done search warrants. I'm not aware that for a fact that they did, but I know they followed every lead, so I haven't asked them about that, and they hadn't informed me yet.
Sheriff, what about the fact that Vicky White might be using different aliases to escape?
We know she used aliases, and we're following up on that as well. She used the alias to purchase the car, so we know she has used those aliases. That was another piece of information that was inadvertently let out earlier this week. So I'm assuming she's probably ditched those aliases and probably got some new identities now. Yes, sir.
So you've met obviously Vicky White in the past. What direct message would you say to her? The cameras are here now. You make a direct appeal to her. What would you say? Speak directly to Vicky now. She's probably listening to this, or she will listen to this. What would you say to her?
What would I say to Vicky right now? The same thing I've been saying. I'm sorry.
You can speak straight to the cameras. They're looking. She's watching.
Yeah. I would, at this point in time, I would say to Vicky that, the same thing I've been saying. We're going to find you. Hopefully we find you safe. If you're safe right now, still safe, get out while you can and turn yourself in to local authorities, wherever you're at. So, yes, ma'am.
Are we aware of any other surveillance video either here or in Tennessee that has maybe spotted them at all, their car or themselves in any kind of store?
All right, video about the car
No,
themselves?
any additional surveillance video that we haven't talked about that has maybe spotted them either here or in Tennessee? Are we aware of?
I know, and someone asked earlier about the hotel she stayed in Thursday night. We did. I followed up to see if we had video of that. The investigators actually went out and viewed the video. We do not have copies of that video, but we do know that she was spotted on video at the Quality Inn directly behind Logan's. And I know that's been the case in a couple other cases where they viewed the video. We don't actually have copies. All right, yeah.
Just want a quick follow-up question regarding the aliases. Do you know if she used those aliases for her communication with Casey White while he was in prison?
I don't know that. I'm not sure. Couple more questions.
Sheriff, the U.S. Marshals put out a mock-up of Vicky wearing a brown wig. Is there any reason as to why you suspect that she may be disguising herself like that?
Well, I mean, I think it's probably logical and reasonable to assume she's probably tried to alter her appearance for obvious reasons. Do we know for a fact she's done that? No. We don't know for a fact. One more question.
Sheriff, how would you sort of summarize where the investigation stands right now? You've talked about some sort of new information, some setbacks along the way. How would you categorize where this investigation is right now?
It's behind where we'd like for it to be. We wish we had a lot more progress. It's been a week. I wish we'd had them back in custody within hours. But, we just have to work with what we got. We're still depending on leads from the public, tips, so we encourage people, if you see something, regardless of how unimportant you might think it is, call, report it, and let us follow up on it. Last question.
Sheriff, to follow up kind of what she asked, using her aliases to possibly communicate with Casey White or back to possibly visit in the penitentiaries, which was obviously not reported correctly or stated correctly. Does that go back to like video visitation during COVID and things like that?
It does, and phone communication. The thing we've confirmed is phone communication. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I read that.
The last question.
I read that her keys and cuffs and radio have been found. Can you confirm that?
The what now?
That Vicky White's jail keys and her handcuffs and her radio have been
That was all in the car, and we found it at the lot. Okay, thank y'all so much, and thank you again for helping us get the word out. Y'all been tremendous, so thank you. We'll be in touch. By the way, before anyone leaves, I'm going home. Please do not bother me until 6 o'clock tonight, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's from like this.
Here's the tow-in report, if y'all would like a copy.
Good, how are you? 1 second.
All right, thank you.
Someone over here.
Awesome. It was nice meeting you. Okay. That'd be great if you message that way.
I will. I know you get blown up.
Yeah. No, but please.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
The very least you're
Hey guys, Ashley here from AL.com. Give me just a sec. I'm going to see if I can move outside and see if we can recap just a bit. Just 1 sec. Excuse me. Sorry. Hey guys, just trying to get set up here. I'm outside the Lauderdale County Courthouse, where we've just heard an update from Sheriff Rick Singleton, Sheriff of Lauderdale County. Again, we're here at the courthouse, Lauderdale County Courthouse, in downtown Florence. Try to get set up a little bit better here. One sec, guys. All right, so it has been now a week since Vicky White, who was the Assistant Director of Corrections at the Lauderdale County Jail, left with Casey White, no relation, who was incarcerated in the Lauderdale County Jail on capital murder charges. And we just heard a little update from Sheriff Rick Singleton, sort of about where things stand in the search. And I think one of the biggest takeaways is that he essentially said, you know, they're not where they wish they were. Certainly after a week of looking, you know, certainly, obviously, I think it's fair to say he wishes they had them both in custody. Both, of course, are wanted on warrants. Vicky White for assisting or aiding in this escape. Casey White, obviously, on those escape charges. And they, of course, want to bring him back here to Lauderdale County to face the capital murder charges. Now, one other update that we did hear from the sheriff, too, is that the vehicle that we have had photos circulating of, the vehicle that Vicky White and Casey White were traveling in after abandoning her patrol car last Friday, that it was actually found in Tennessee. Now, it was found in Tennessee last Friday. That did not, you know, quite come through channels back to Lauderdale County until more recently, partially because law enforcement was not aware of which vehicle to be looking out for. And later, after that information went out, they realized that it had been towed in Tennessee. Let me see. I'm going to flip y'all back around so you can kind of get an idea of where we are. Again, this is the Lauderdale County Courthouse. This is in downtown Florence, Alabama. It's actually located just about a half mile from the Lauderdale County Jail, where this escape actually took place. Now, we're going to be posting full coverage on our site, and I think we've got it dropped in the comments here. Just a quick, recap one more time in case you've joined us a little bit late. We've heard from Lauderdale County Sheriff Rick Singleton. We also heard briefly from Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly, an update on reward money that is available in this case. And like I said, I think sort of the main takeaway here today is that, the sheriff says they're not where they wish they were. Obviously, it's been a week since Vicky White and Casey White, again, no relation, went missing, but that they are urging the public to contact them with any information, certainly asking for any tips that might help them in catching these two. Just a quick reminder, of course, that Vicky White is wanted now on warrants, or a warrant charging her with aiding or facilitating in Casey White's escape from the Lauderdale County Jail here in Florence 1 week ago today. Casey White, who of course was incarcerated on capital murder charges, is also wanted on an escape warrant, and of course he still is to stand trial on the capital murder charges. Let's see. All right. Flip you guys around one more time really quickly. Again, here at the Lauderdale County Courthouse in Florence, Alabama, where we've been hearing from the sheriff, Rick Singleton, Sheriff of Lauderdale County, about the escape, the search for Casey White and Vicky White, who left the Lauderdale County Jail as part of his escape 1 week ago today. And we'll make sure that we get all the latest posted here in the comments. And also, of course, you can always keep up with us on AL.com. And we'll certainly be sharing regular updates about where the case is on our Facebook page as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I'm Ashley Remkus from AL.com. We appreciate you watching today, and just follow up with the case. Keep in touch, or keep an eye on AL.com for the latest.